Hi guys! Today I'm going to do a project I've been putting off. These are my Beaver Tail cacti, and I probably got these pads about 3 years ago off the internet. I got about, I don't know, 10 or 15 pads, and I planted them up, and I've had these enormous plants ever since. They pretty much took off the first year and made huge plants. And last year I was thinking about trying to keep them outside in the polytunnel, and they suffered quite a bit of frostbite, I guess, during the first hard freeze. So they've never looked good since, and they're also extremely top heavy and extremely heavy to be moving in and out. So I'm going to prune them and restart some of the pads and get rid of the damaged part. Some of it also might be some type of insect damage. They don't have any insects on them now. I've inspected them closely, but you know, I think it's just best to take off the parts that aren't looking so well. And also it could be, the corking could be from age as well. But the point is they are falling over. They're too heavy for their pot, and rather than repot it in a pot of soil that I absolutely know I wouldn't be able to move, I'm going to just restart some pads. And for those of you that are worried about it, I did these last year. These are, and they're already 3 feet tall. This one is 3 feet tall. I hope you can see it with the foliage in the back. But these are restarted plants. And this one looks particularly wonderful and needs a repot, which I will do at the same time that I repot some of the cuttings from these giants. So as gardeners, we're always thinking a season ahead, and for me to, like I said, for me to put it in a bigger pot that I know I absolutely couldn't move would be a very bad decision. So I'm going to go ahead and take these cuttings, and in about a week, if they're all healed over, I'm going to plant them up. So this week you'll see me prune these off, and next week hopefully you'll see me plant them up. And hopefully, if all goes planned, we'll have some more plants that look like this. I have off camera cleaned my pruning shears, and that's always a good thing to do when you're pruning any plant. Before you get started, just take an alcohol wipe or even soap and water, just to make sure that when you cut into your plant, you're not introducing any bacteria. So I'm just going to lay out the cuttings in here. And once I finish doing the cuttings, they're going to be in a shady location. Now, another reason why I hesitated to do this is the glow kits on this beaver tail cactus are so terrible that usually whenever I work with this plant for days, I'm getting it out of my hands, even though I'm wearing gloves. So I put it off partly because of that reason. So my goal is to take off all of the green off of the plant and not get any of the corky pads. I want it to be a nice looking plant, and it stays in my living room in the winter. So I really do need it to look nice. So let's get started. And this used to be hard for me to do, but knowing that it comes out so well when you replant it, I have a lot of confidence now when I do it. You know, it seems wrong to cut up what looks like a healthy looking plant, but Opuntias are just so easy to restart. So let's see, and these have been well hydrated. They were recently watered, so that's another good thing to do. And I'm just cutting it at each joint. I'm going to have loads of cuttings here. It's going to be fun. It's always fun to see what you can restart. But I'm just cutting it at the joint, which is a natural place for the roots to come out. And anywhere where it's bent, I'm going to cut it again and try to plant it straight. That'll look much better standing up. And we'll just go around and do that all over the plant. And if I left this, it would regenerate new pads, but I think after 3 years and all this corkiness, it is time to dispose of the bottom part. My goal was just to have cuttings, was to have a really healthy looking plant. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I used to want to save everything, and now I just want things to look nice, and I have so many I don't really need to save anything that is looking subpar. Now this is already kind of spindly and it's going to lean over, so I'm going to make 2 cuttings out of that. And I don't consider any plant material that can be composted as waste, because it goes back into the earth as nutrients. So because I also love to garden, that's what will happen with the bottom damaged part. Now if I saw bugs on it, I wouldn't do that, but there's no bugs. It's just age or you know, previous bug damage. So far so good. I'm not getting hurt, guys. I feel good about that. Now see, this one is so floppy, it almost looks dehydrated, but we'll give it a try. See how floppy that is. But maybe it'll put out roots quickly and rehydrate itself. And that's the other thing, if you take a lot of cuttings and a few of them don't make it, you know, you're guaranteed that some will make it. I think these gloves are doing okay. I'm not getting injured, guys. Let's hope so. And some of these cuttings are going to be bigger than others. I'll group the smaller cuttings together. I'm doing this in the morning before it gets really hot. And guys, it's important to let these dry. We're letting the ends dry and callus over. I would estimate it would be about a week, but we'll see. They have to look really healed over before I plant them. Otherwise they'll rot. So it's important that they don't lie out in the baking sun while they're doing that. You don't want them to lose all of their moisture, but you do want those ends to dry out. Okay, I think I'm almost done with this one. Got all the best looking pads off. So remember, my goal is to take only the healthiest looking pads. And I think I've done that here. I think we're done. I think I'm going to leave the rest, which have some spots and corking on them. Those look a lot healthier to me. All I see is green, no brown, and those should be beautiful. And because it's August, this is going to give it about 2.5 months, maybe 3 months, to root into a new medium once I plant that up next week. And that's going to give it a good start to send out roots before it needs to go back into dormancy when I stop watering at the end of October. So I feel like this is good timing, although it's awfully hot out. I feel like this is going to give it a chance to root in before it needs to go dormant. I have put them under the table in a spot of shade, and that's where they will rest for about a week until the ends where they've been cut have had a chance to dry off, and then we will pot them up. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and join me next time when we pot up these beauties. Bye!